Welcome to Track in the Week. Relatives of the victim of the Kaduna-Abuja train attack barricaded the headquarters of the Federal Ministry of Transportation in Abuja on Monday, protesting the release of a new video where bandits were torturing their family members still in captivity. The protesters who occupied the main entrance of the ministry asked the federal government to take steps to secure the release of the loved ones who were abducted by gunmen at Katari village on March 28, 2022. Aisha Musa, who spoke on behalf of the family members, said they would continue to picket the Ministry of Transportation until they get a definite response from the government. Minister of Transportation Muazu Jaji, who stumbled into the protest, promised to do his best to rescue the remaining victims in the bandit captives, while the Director of Road Service, Yusuf Jimo, appealed to the victims' relatives to be patient with the government as efforts are still on ground to rescue the remaining victims of the train attack. Terrorists have released 4 victims of 62 hostages of the adopted Abuja-Kaduna train passengers on March 28. The victims, will consist of 2 males and a female, secured their freedom around 11 a.m. on Monday. Reports revealed that they were released by the terrorists at a location inside the forest along the Kaduna-Abuja highway. From there, they were picked up by their relatives. So far, 22 victims have regained their freedom. It is, however, not clear if any money was paid to the terrorists to release their adopted victims. With the release of the 30 victims, the number of those in captivity now remains at 40. Gunmen had on March 28 blown up the rail track, killing some and abducting scores of passengers, a situation that called for serious concern about the safety of the nation's train. On Sunday, the terrorists released a viral video where they were seen flocking their hostages. They also threatened to abduct President Buhari and Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai. Also on Monday, the People's Democratic Party again accused President Muhammadu Buhari and the government of the All Progressive Congress for failing Nigeria. Addressing journalists on the traumatizing video on the dehumanizing treatment of victims on the Abuja-Kaduna train terrorism attack who have been in captivity for 120 days, National Publicity Secretary of PDP, Debo Ologunagba, said the country has witnessed killings in the Buhari administration more than any time else. Ologunagba said over 18,000 Nigerians have been killed between year 2020 and 2022 due to the failure of government to tackle insecurity head-on. He called on Nigerians to hold APC responsible for the serial loss of lives and property. And still on Monday, the Federal Ministry of Education ordered immediate closure of one of its colleges, the Federal Government College Kwali, located in Kwali Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In a statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Ben Bemgung, said the Education Minister Adamu Adamu, who gave the directive in the early hours of Monday, said the closure became necessary following security breach on Shede and Lambata villages, suburb of Kwali Area Council, which also threatened FGC Kwali. According to the minister, the timely intervention of security agencies saved the situation. Adamu also directed that arrangements should be made for final year students to conclude in NECO examinations. Malam Adamu has also directed principals of Unity colleges across the country to liaise with security agencies within their jurisdiction in order to forestall any security breach in Nigerian schools. The Nigerian Senate has received a formal request from President Muhammadu Buhari to confirm nomination of Justice Olukayode Ariwoola as substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. The request was contained in a letter and read by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan at the start of Tuesday's plenary. Justice Ariwoola's appointment as CJN by President Buhari was equal to the resignation of former Chief Justice Mohammed Tanko on 27 June 2022. The Nigerian Senate has also received a request from President Muhammadu Buhari to confirm the reappointment of 4 nominees as non-executive directors of the Board of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Also on Tuesday, House of Representatives distanced themselves from the reported plot to impeach Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila over the controversial Water Resources Bill currently before the National Assembly for consideration. An online report has suggested that Reps members from the North have concluded plans to initiate impeachment proceedings against the Speaker, prompted Chairman of the Northern Caucus, Honorable Sirika Hada, to draw the attention of the House to the publication, which it described as false and malicious. Speaking during a media briefing afterwards, Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Alexander Duduguwa, while condemning the development, said such publication in the media is mischievous and baseless, describing Gbajabiamila as a speaker who had the highest level of members' confidence in the history of the House. Minority Leader Honorable Hundodi Elumelu said there was nothing like a threat to impeach Gbajabiamila. He further debunked the alleged arrangement to produce a supplementary order paper with the intent to smuggle in the bill. Still on Tuesday, organized labor called on the government of Nigeria to, as a matter of urgency, resolve the problems that led to the current protracted strike of members of Academic Staff Union of universities in the country, in compliance with the directive of the national body of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) to stage a solidarity protest in support of ASU, who have been on strike for several months. Lagos State Chapter on Tuesday mobilized its members on a peaceful protest walk from Ikeja on the bridge through to the governor's office in Lausa. State Chairman of NLC, Comrade Agnes Sersi, while addressing members at the beginning of the protest walk, she condemned the inability of federal government to find lasting solution to the problems facing the nation's tertiary institution. She declared unacceptable the current situation where students who are supposed to be in school, learning, are roaming around indulging in unholy activities. The Lagos Chairman, University of Lagos, Dr. Afolabi Ashiru, accused the federal government of deliberately destroying the educational system, along with Dr. Adelajo Dukoya, who both agreed is not the best interest of the country. Joining the protesting workers is the human rights lawyer Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who says no fund to improve on education in the country, who says it is shameful when someone can steal over 100 billion at the time government is saying no fund to improve on education in the country. Receiving the organized labor letter on behalf of Governor Olusola Sanwo-Olu, the Commissioner for Establishments, Mrs. Ajibola Aponle, commended the protesting workers' union members for peaceful conduct with a promise to convey the demands to the governor for prompt action. On Wednesday, minority caucus of the Nigerian Senate called on President Muhammadu Buhari to resign or face impeachment, as they call him low in his handling of the security situation in the country. The lawmakers staged a walkout after the Senate President Ahmed Lawan described as out of order a motion by the Senate Minority Leader Philip Aduda seeking to mention the issue. The worsening state of security in the country has always been an agenda in plenary, but the situation was different in the Senate on Wednesday, as lawmakers say something drastic must not happen. Rising from a closed-door meeting lasting over 2 hours, Minority Leader Philip Aduda, the senator representing the FCT, briefed the House, insisting the Senate President never mentioned what was the agenda at the closed-door section. But the Senate President ruled Aduda out of order for deciding to speak on a subject that was no longer on the agenda. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed Wednesday dismissed statements credited to terrorists in a recent viral video threatening to adopt President Muhammadu Buhari and the Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, as laughable. According to Mohammed, who briefed State House correspondents shortly after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by the President, said such an approach was mere propaganda. The minister, however, gave indications that the President would be hosting a Security Council meeting on Thursday in view of emerging threats to the country from terrorist groups who appear to be in building since a successful jailbreak at Kuje Correctional Center in Abuja. Meanwhile, in reaction to an impeachment threat from the National Assembly and the Presidency, giving him 6 months to overhaul the security architecture, Mohammed said, as rightly said, it was passed when they were deliberating issues at the council meeting. He thanked the lawmakers for their patriotism and their concern, saying government is working round the clock 24 hours to ensure that the situation is brought under control. Also on Wednesday, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and its affiliate union have demanded the reopening of public universities, which were closed following industrial action embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. President of the Congress, Ayuba Waba, who led the members of the Congress to the National Assembly, expressed disappointment over the lingering strike action, calling on the legislature to act now to save the situation. The protest began at the Unity Fountain and terminated in the National Assembly, where members of the Congress delivered a message to the legislature. The NLC president told the legislature to look at the demands and act appropriately within the shortest possible time to resolve the federal government ASU impasse. Expectedly, authorities of the National Assembly approached the protesting workers, though not unwelcome, but assured them of actions to ensure that normalcy is restored in the university milieu. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday held a security meeting with the nation's head of security architecture to discuss the technical issues and the tasks that was given to the various security agencies. Briefing State House correspondent after the 5 hour meeting, the National Security Advisor Babagana Munguno noted that the ongoing fight against insurgency and other types of criminalities is asymmetric and deserves a collective effort that cannot be confined to wholly security, intelligence and law enforcement agencies, while assuring the renewed commitment of the Nigerian Armed Forces towards evolving threat strategies to deal with snipers of violence across the country. The NSA said there will be a change in momentum regardless of certain institutional limitations which the military faces. He said Council expressed concerns over the nature of media reporting incidents with regards to insecurity, as some recent media reports have the potential of aggravating the existing delicate situation. The NSA also called for caution among political elites, opinion molders and reputable leaders of the people to be wary of the consequences of their utterances, as unguided ones may be harmful not just to the government but also the wider society. The Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives has joined its Senate counterpart to end President Muhammadu Buhari a 6-week ultimatum to fix insecurity or face impeachment in the National Assembly. Minority Leader of the House of Reps, Ndudi Elumelu, revealed this after a closed-door meeting of the Joint Minority Caucus of the National Assembly on Thursday. Elumelu said the signatures will be gathered to impeach the president if the security situation is not addressed. He also drew attention to the general state of the nation, including the exchange rate and aviation crisis. Elumelu noted that the dwindling value of the naira and the resurgence of crude oil theft are good enough reasons to impeach the president. The People's Democratic Party caucus, however, warned that the PDP and other opposition political parties will take action within the next 8 weeks if the issue of insecurity is not addressed. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, an Abuja-based lawyer, called for the release of his domestic staff who have been detained in DSS headquarters Abuja since 6 June 2021 after a raid on his Anambra home. Addressing the media in Abuja Friday, Mr. Ejiofor, who is counsel to the detained leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, urged President Buhari to prevail on the Director General of the DSS to free the 3 persons: Felix Okonkwo, driver; Okafor Lawrence Ogochukwu, gardener; and Ike Nachibuike, steward. Mr. Ejiofor's personal assistant Samuel Okoro was allegedly murdered by the operatives during the raid by a combined team of the DSS, the Army and the police in the early hours of June 6, 2021, with CCTV cameras recording what played out in the compound and the premises. The media briefing is coming on the heels of a judgment by the Anambra Division of the Federal High Court on 22 July 2022 condemning the action of the operatives, awarding damages against the security agencies in the sum of 100 million naira and issuing a restraining order against them. Lastly, on Friday, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike described as unfortunate the unguarded public comment credited to respectable party members against him after the conduct of the People's Democratic Party presidential primaries on 29-30 May 2022. Governor Wike maintained that after the presidential primaries, the PDP presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar or the PDP national chairman Senator Yocha Hayu would have reached out to him, but they have not. The Rivers State governor made the accusation while speaking with journalists at the international wing of the Port Harcourt International Airport, Omagua, in Ikwere local government area, shortly after his arrival from Spain. Governor Wike clarified that Senator Bukola Saraki met with him in Spain, but said he was not sent by Alhaji Atiku, so nobody should think in such direction. And that's it from Tracking the Week.